Remembering the life of my father, the late Reverend Michael Dale Crump Johnson Sr., Reverend Michael D.C. Johnson Sr., aka known as Reverend Michael Johnson Sr., and Big Mike. My father was a great man of God. He was an elder. He was a friend. He was a brother in the community throughout East Palo Alto, California, the Bay Area, Northern California, and also Texas. My dad was just known. He was known in the state and known internationally, even in Germany, because my father was in the army, but wherever he went, he made friends. And he was a great guy. He really was. And so it's been 9 years since he passed, and my heart bleeds and it aches because I truly miss my father. And he married my mother, and before, I came along, my mother and father, they were friends. My father and mother and father, they were friends. And they got married late, but however, they passed young. My mother, she died first. She passed first. She passed at the age of 53, December 17th, 2008. I believe that was a Wednesday morning at 4:30 a.m. And then my father passed 4 years later. They died 4 years and 2 weeks apart. My dad passed December the 26th, 2012, shortly after Christmas. It was 2 a.m. But I am preserving and carrying on my father's ministry and his legacy, and somewhat his ways, his characteristics. A lot of people call me Little Mike, but I tell them now, with myself being as young and as old as I am, I'm Michael Jr. I'm Michael Johnson Jr., or people can call me Michael Johnson II, or Junior Mike, or Mikey Mike, or MJ. I don't think I'm Little Mike anymore because I'm growing older now and I'm more of a man, but I'm grateful for my father. I'm grateful because he told me before he passed, he said, "Son, I want you to carry on my name." So in other words, he instilled in me to carry on the family legacy. So I am both a Crump and a Johnson. Both of my last names come after my grandfather's. I have my grandfather's last names. That's why I'm Michael A.C. Johnson Jr. And I proudly wear my name very well. One of the greatest moments I had with my father is that we were licensed and ordained together at Union Star Missionary Baptist Church at the former address 1898 Bay Road in East Palo Alto, California, where Reverend Helen A. Brown was pastor and still is pastor. Bishop L.L. Pittman and his wife, Lady Earlene G. Pittman, along with Minister Helen A. Brown and Minister Catherine Petway and many others, the late Mother Tina Willis and Mother Breckenridge, they were the founders, a part of the church as well at that time. But one of the greatest moments was when my father and I, we were licensed and ordained together as ministers of the gospel. And my dad would preach, and he was a recovering drug addict. He attended Daytop Village Adult Services, and he graduated there because I told him once my father got in trouble when I was a little boy, I had told Dad, you got to stop getting in trouble, man. We need you at home. Mom needs you, which was his wife, my mother, and I needed him in our home. And my father, he ended up graduating from the drug rehabilitation program that he was a part of, and his friends and the members and affiliates of that program began to fellowship with us at church at Union Star Missionary Baptist Church on Sunday mornings. So through the ministry of serving with my father, one thing that my father said, he said, one day my son, my boy is going to be my pastor. And unfortunately, that didn't happen. That wasn't a dream that came true. And when my father passed, I hurt because 4 years prior to his passing, I had just lost my mother. So anyway, I just want to say that I may be a pastor in the near future. This is 2021. And I believe I am going to pastor, but it's in the near future. I already have the church name. The Lord had gave me the name of my church ministry when I was 12 and 13 years old. So you do the math. That was about 16 or 18 years ago, at the time when the Lord gave me the name of my church. Not only that, but I am an inspiring apostle. I desire to be an apostle and open up churches, to plant churches and get churches started. And it is my desire to be a senior pastor of the church that I will pastor and found one of these days soon, at the expected and appointed time that God will allow me to pastor and to begin this great ministry. But I just want to take a moment, I just wanted to take a moment to reminisce over my father. He was a great guy. He loved to cook, he loved to eat, he loved to fellowship, he loved singing, he loved preaching. He was the manager of the Earthquake Gospel Singers. He performed and sang with many gospel greats in East Palo Alto and Oakland, California, and the surrounding areas. He sang along with my mother with Arvis Strickland Jones, and they sang with Evangelist Dorothy Norwood, Ezel Ely in California, Pastor Ezel Ely, Gene Viale, George Gill, and Tommy Young, and the Wilson brothers, to name a few, and many others. Emmett Powell, Freddie Strong Jr. there in East Palo Alto, California. Many others, along also with Mother Maxine Williams, who is yet alive, and her husband, Brother Tommy. I'm sorry, when I was saying the Earthquake Gospel Singers, I meant Brother Earthy Young. He's the one who passed. Brother Tommy Young, Brother Tommy Williams is still with us. So thank God that I corrected myself. But I just want to take a few minutes to reminisce about my father. I can't really recall every minute or every moment, good moment that we had, because there's many. There were also some upsetting and down times that we had, but everybody goes through good and bad. But we have to cherish the good moments, smile, live life, and keep it moving. So I pause to take time to reminisce, to reflect the life and love and the legacy of my late father, Reverend Michael Johnson Sr. I'll just put it like that to make his name short, AKA Big Mike, Elder Mike, Assistant Pastor Michael D. Johnson Sr. of California. So shout out to his family, shout out to his friends, shout out to everyone who was a part of my father's life while he was yet here, from 1957 to 2012. It's my desire, Evangelist Brother Michael A.C. Johnson Jr., it's my desire to carry on his legacy. And I pray that all of my desires and my goals and the dreams that I have in my heart and in my head, in my mind, I pray that they can come to pass before the Lord God call me home to glory. And I pray to make it to see Jesus Christ. My dad also had a testimony because he was on the streets, but the Lord saved and delivered him. And he also even ministered on the streets of East Palo Alto, California. My dad was even in the newspaper with Reverend Jesse Lewis Jackson Sr. of Rainbow Push Coalition in Chicago, Illinois, out there in East Palo Alto, California. So I'm proud of my pastor, well, assistant pastor. My dad was, and if he was still living, he would have been an assistant pastor as well to the church and ministry that I look forward to pastoring one of these days with a blessed, beautiful wife and a family, if the Lord bless and if the Lord say the same. Well, I want to thank you for your time. Have a great and blessed day. My dad has a memorial page on Facebook, Remembering Michael D. Johnson Sr. So feel free to tell your family and friends to check that page out. Also, I believe he's online. He had a website called www.lifelineoutreachministries. That means period, WEBS.com. www.lifelineoutreachministry.webs.com. Or you can just type his name, Reverend Michael D. Johnson Sr. Something will pop up and you will get some information, or you'll see a picture of my late father, the late Reverend Michael D.C. Johnson Sr., aka Big Mike, Reverend Mike, MJ Sr., Elder Mike, Pastor Mike. Well, it's been my pleasure and opportunity to talk to you for a few moments. This is Mikey Mike, aka Brother Michael, or Evangelist Michael A.C. Johnson Jr. God bless you. Have a great day.